Hello, I'm Jamie.
Hello, I'm Mark, and it's time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate. It's Tuesday night, it's after 7:30, sorry, but it is time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate, just 2 minutes later than usual. But I'm here, running around like a mad headless chicken, trying to get ready in time. But I managed it, just about. Let's get Jamie in.
Hello.
Put your glasses on.
I was just polishing them in my light up ones.
I was snapping half ones.
You're late.
I know. I was running around like a crazy fool trying to get ready. I had to walk the dogs, so I was back late, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I've got 50 minutes."
Oh well. Isn't it weird? I don't stress. I think, oh, I'll be there in a second.
Whereas in the past, you'd have started your own life.
Exactly. Done that many a times.
He's on the other one.
Yeah. Then I have to shut it down and come and find you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Lots of people come to see us. You've had a busy week, or a couple of days, by the looks of it.
I have indeed. No time for Instagramming anymore.
No.
Lots of people.
Is it good?
I suppose I should probably say hello to both Chloe and Debbie, who are my new assistant gardeners who have started, and they both know about the podcast, so one of them has started listening, so she's already heard the episode where we talked about Sean, one of the other candidates, that the police guy.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
It's very strange hearing you talk about something that I know about.
Oh dear. Ah, that's all right. So they're fully bona fide new employees now.
Yep.
Wicked.
I've got one more to come.
Really?
Yeah.
You lucky boy.
The other one's only doing 2 days a week.
Well, you're going from one to four of you.
Yep.
Awesome.
You would be amazed how much work we've done in, what are we on today? Tuesday. So 2 days.
Okay. You've
probably done more than I would have got done in a week and a half.
Exactly. That's the thing sometimes, isn't it? You don't just get double work done. You get more sometimes.
And it's just the fresh energy around the place. You know, you've got new people with new ideas and new passion and new, you know, just it's all new for them as well. So they're so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And obviously willing to impress. So putting in a good shift at the moment. Hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't give it a couple of weeks to go and hide behind the boathouse.
Yeah.
I'm sure they won't.
we got 4 things ticked off my big list on the whiteboard today, which was probably a record of ticking things off in one day.
Brilliant. That is a big list.
Yeah, so I think we did 1 on the first day, 1 on the second day, and then 4 today. So a different size, obviously.
I'm pleased for you, mate, because sometimes it gets on top of you, doesn't it? Having all that to focus on.
No, you're only one person at the end of the day. You can only do so much. So even as much passion as I've got for that garden, I can't do it all on my own. Like, it's an impossible task. So
passion doesn't get the holes dug, does it? That's the thing.
Exactly. Sometimes you do need more people just to get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of positivity.
Excellent. So you're going to have to bring them to the dark side, you know that?
Well, one of them doesn't do Instagram, and the other one is on Instagram but doesn't do front. You know, they're one of these people that are on Instagram but don't really post them more on it to view other people.
Well, I'll look out for a new follow then. I had a lovely weekend in the garden. I've cleared all my beds and mulched it all. It's really satisfying. Not my allotment beds, my garden beds just out here.
Yeah.
I've cleared them all because I hadn't touched them obviously since the winter, since last year. So I've cleared them all, dug everything out what I want to get out, and cleared it and mulched the whole lot with plant grow mulch, and it's done. Brilliant. Looks fantastic. Bulbs are all through. Millions of daffodils. Didn't know I had that many.
Amazing. That 9 days of warm weather has just like the garden's gone.
Oh yeah, crazy.
I can't believe how from like last week when I was clearing the bed that we've been working in at the start of this week, the bulbs had just started to poke through.
Yeah.
And by Monday morning, those bulbs were in flower.
Yeah, it's going crazy. But then saying about how warm it is, how cold's it been today and yesterday? Oh my God, it's been awful.
It's been miserable. Well, to be fair, it's actually been nicer here than I was expecting it to be.
It's nice because it's not raining, but the temperature dropped from 18 degrees last week to about 7 today.
It just got you used to t-shirt weather, and it's back to being coats and fleeces, isn't it? That's what they call full spring.
It was full spring. And I mentioned that in my column in my local paper this week. I said, don't go start planting things out because you think it's nice and warm. Don't do it.
Brilliant. Don't start sowing stuff in your greenhouses unless you're prepared to be down there and wrapping them up and heating your greenhouse and all that, because otherwise you'll be starting again.
Because they go.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Full spring.
Joe said
not long.
It was warm this morning, but got cold this afternoon.
Oh, it's bloody freezing this afternoon.
We had hail at work.
Did you?
Yeah. Came over really dark and just absolutely hammered it down. And it was only, 15 minutes, but we all ran for the polytunnel.
Cool, I bet that sounded noisy and there with hail on it. Wow. Yeah.
Cold. And you've been back to work.
I went back to work first day yesterday.
Where did those 3 months go?
It hasn't quite been 3 months, it's been 10 weeks.
Still 10 weeks.
I know.
It's probably gone really slow for you, but
well, it hasn't. That's the thing. Everyone keeps saying that. I bet you've been bored, but a bit, But there's lots on telly to watch. It's not too bad. Not been too bad. But yeah, I went back yesterday, and I just did what I could do. I wasn't going to put myself in any kind of jeopardy, stretching or pulling or lifting heavy stuff. I just did what I could do.
Yeah.
I was off again today because I was at rehab all morning, so I had today off, and I'll just go as and when people call now. I'm not going to go and looking for it. Just as it comes back in naturally, I'll just do it.
Not got anything big booked in so that you're flat out for a week or anything like that.
There's a few I could do, but they're all right for the next couple of months. They said as long as we get done in the next couple of months, it's fine. So I can just go back, even if I go and have a morning. That's rather than doing a full shift.
Yeah, you don't want to go from nothing to full on week.
No,
be knackered.
Yeah, I will be knackered. Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. I haven't actually. You got to remember, I haven't done anything, so my fitness has plummeted as well as my strength and everything else. So for everything else, it's that'll be right. It will happen. It will happen. It's starting happening now, so it's good.
Somebody's put on tips for crappy leaves on hellebores. If they'd cut them off. If you cut them off, you'll get new leaves coming up. This time of year, it should just be the flowers, and then the new leaves will follow after the flowers. So yeah, cut them off if they're looking rubbish. And another question was, I'm digging over a patch of raspberries. They have been in the garden for about 20 years, just spreading like wildfire. Will I need to do anything to help the soil? Depends what you're putting back in the soil. If you're trying to plant some new plants, then you could maybe add a mulch to give the soil a bit of feed. But other than
mulch is good for anything, isn't it?
Yeah. whatever you're doing, if something's been in for a long time, give it mulch.
Yeah.
And that'll feed the soil.
But that's the thing. So I know I've mulched all my beds out in my back garden. I shouldn't have to feed anything now.
Oh, exactly.
There's a goodness in that. I think I probably put about, I don't know, average 3 centimetres, by the time you've just smoothed it out a bit. But the goodness in that mulch that's there all year now.
Yeah, so they've said I want to plant vegetables. Yeah, so just put a decent layer of mulch on top and then plant vegetables.
Good compost. Get some compost on there. That'll have all the goodness in there that'll last you all year. I don't feed anything in my beds. My vegetable beds outside, they'll get a good 2 inches of compost in the next few weeks, and that's it. I don't feed anything for the rest of the year, and I get good results.
They also ask, can I cut a buddleia down? I would say yes, but if they've got a frosty day, maybe wait. But I usually cut buddleias down in March.
I don't know who just asked this one. Is compost out of the pot a good mulch?
That's my mum asking that.
That's what I said. Yes, it's a good mulch, definitely.
I mean, it might not be as rich with nutrients.
It won't be as much, not as much nutrients in there, but that'd be good for mulching, for weed suppressant and stuff like that.
Yep.
But if you want mulch for goodness, putting some nutrients in, you want some decent compost.
Yep.
Or a specific mulch from people like Plant Grow. Full of goodness.
Hashtag gifted ad.
Yes. Enough of that. Right. Who we got on tonight, Mark?
So tonight we have a lovely person who likes to garden by the phases of the moon, growing their own food and gardening for wellness. If you don't know them, let me introduce you to Susy B. Hello.
Hello.
Evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
And you two fine specimens.
Thank you
How are
very
you?
much. I've been so excited to talk to you.
Mark, it must be cold at your place if you got your beanie on.
Definitely.
He's always got his bloody beanie on.
Oh no, I've seen you without your beanie. Well, like maybe like 2 times.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. It's probably about 45 degrees outside or something like that. That's right.
Heading to a summer hat then.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to get one of them from the 1980s where it's just a visor with a strap around the back so your head pokes out.
I've got one of them.
I bet you have.
How you doing, Susie?
Yeah, I'm good. So today was cold.
Oh.
I mean, really cold. But, hey, I think I've become a fair weather gardener again. When I first came over here, I stopped going outside in August. I never went outside for like about 8 months.
Right.
And I
So your accent kind of gives it away, but just tell us where you came over from.
I've been here for 30 years and I'm Australian. So I came from southeastern Australia, a place called Wodonga. And that's an Aboriginal name, which is halfway between Tangambalanga and Yakandanda.
Oh, I know it well.
So when I came over here, I didn't even have the right clothes. I don't even think that I had a proper jacket or coat or anything. And so, I don't know. I just felt this winter's been a bit strange. But I did go back to Australia for a month, November, December.
I saw.
You see, so that means that now I've become a bit of a wuss again.
So what kind of temperatures would it be over there while you were back over?
It's hot, and it still is hot, actually. It's been unseasonably hot. You know, they've had this big cyclone come. I don't know the difference between a cyclone and a tornado, which is pretty terrible. But I think it was a cyclone came through and it ripped the whole beach off the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast. So all you've got now is you've got skyscrapers and then about a 20-foot drop into the sea. So all those beautiful beaches have gone. But it was really, really hot down in Victoria where my mum is. And mum lives below the Snowy Mountains. So it's not normally really hot. And I was there for a month, and I would say it was over 35 degrees Celsius every day. And we got about 10 days of over 40.
Jeez.
And I just couldn't cope. It was really hot, and it's still hot, really hot over there.
Yeah, because
so everything's
that's
died.
opposite to us, isn't it? Opposite seasons to us.
Yeah. So they should be going
winter.
into their autumn now.
Yeah.
But you know, and my mum is that's where I get my veg gardening from. She grows everything, and everything's just dying because you know it's just so hot. Yeah, everything gets really sunburnt. The tomatoes get sunburnt over there.
You'd think they would love it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. So yeah, it was cold today. Don't you think?
Oh, it's awful. Absolutely awful. So I had my rehab session today, which I love. Just a bit of an exercise thing we do in a group where I just want to say that I'm the youngest in the group by at least 20 years. So when I done that this morning, I finished about lunchtime. I jumped straight out into the car, and then I went down to meet Teresa to muck the field out with the horses. And oh my God, I didn't have a coat with me, and it was absolutely freezing. It's horrendous.
Yeah. The wind, because the wind's coming off the east coast, isn't it now? Yeah. And here in Lincolnshire, we feel it, don't we, Mark?
We do indeed.
Come on, I'm only Norfolk. I'm only just below you.
Oh yeah, I suppose you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I realised you were in Lincolnshire.
Yep. I'm in Louth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bit further down than me, but not too far.
You?
I'm in Saxby, just to the side.
We drove through Saxby the other day because we were coming back from somewhere, and I said, "Oh, we've never been." I don't know. We took the wrong turn, and I said, "We've never been to Saxby," so we drove through Saxby. I know a very good massage therapist in Saxby.
Yeah, so we're not in mileage, right? As the crow flies, all three of us are not that far away from each other, over on the east side.
But you know, it doesn't rain as much here, supposedly.
It does in my garden.
I actually think I've got the windiest garden there is in the whole of Britain. I've got pockets in the garden that it's unbelievable the amount of wind that gets in there and rips everything apart.
Yeah, from certain directions, I suppose you can catch it all, can't you? So your garden's got a bit of are you kind of walled?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in town. And we've got quite a large garden behind us, and over the road from me is the church, and behind the church are the allotments, but I gave up my allotment last year. Because we've got a big enough garden, and it's walled. And so I've got 12 raised beds, 15 raised beds, I think, something like that, with all my veg in there, and I've got 2 greenhouses and 3 veggie pots. You know, whatever you can find to just shove something in and grow it. 1 million pots.
That's just gardeners. That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you find something else, and it's funny, isn't it? Because you're always looking for something at that piece of wood. Oh yeah.
Don't throw a piece of wood away.
Yeah.
Terrible for hoarding.
Exactly.
Terrible for hoarding. Horrendous. Oh, that will come in. I'll make something out of that. I'll use. Oh, awful.
And then you botch job something up, unless you're pretty good at it, and it falls apart. Like all my raised beds are falling apart, but whatever.
Oh dear. Couple of screws here and there.
Yeah.
Sort it.
Another year.
So you left Australia 30 years ago. So you must have left when you was about 5 or 6.
Yes, I did. Well, I came over here because I used to be an opera singer, would you believe?
Wow.
And I came over here to work with a singing teacher, and Australia was just a bit. I hope there's no Australians listening to this. Kind of in the middle of nowhere,
big.
and big, and in the middle of nowhere, and in Australia there's two places, Australia and overseas. That's it. And I just kind of wanted to see what overseas was like. And I come from a European family, so there, all my family is in Europe. So I thought, well, I'll come over here. It's a good excuse to leave home, and yeah, I came over, worked with a singing teacher, and then met my husband now, Mr. N. He's still an opera singer, so he's still stuck it out.
Oh, brilliant.
And because he's better than me.
Sure not. Sure not.
And I gave it up because I didn't like it. And I was away from home. I couldn't, my gardening was everything, I wanted to always garden. And, if you're off traveling all the time, you can't do anything. You have to, it's got to be in your soul. And I'm afraid mine is getting outside and sowing 5 million seeds. So then we ended up in Lincolnshire because Simon's from Lincolnshire.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic.
All the way from Australia to Lincolnshire.
That's it. There you go. We were in London, but I don't know. I was always sick in London. I was always feeling off.
Yeah.
Have either of you lived in London?
No.
No.
I didn't want to. Sorry.
Do you like it?
Oh, no, I couldn't do it. I know.
For a day.
I can stick a weekend max, and that's it.
Yeah. I think it's changed a lot too. I tell you what, it just zaps the energy, zaps you. You kind of go into this, London coma when you come home. It's, anyhow. It's an interesting place because everything goes on down there.
Of course it does. It's constant, isn't it? Everything. It's what you can do what you want 24 hours and go where you want 24 hours. It's brilliant, but not for me. Not for more than just a weekend away. I think. Unless I got paid a hell of a lot of money.
But you'd only do it for a bit. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't move back.
No. Definitely not.
No, thank you.
No.
Can you imagine how much a place would cost you if you wanted a garden there, like a big garden?
Goodness.
And I don't know, do they do allotments in London?
Yeah, but they're waiting about 30 years.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely what they call it, dead man's shoes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting to die.
Yeah.
Definitely. You've both got allotments, haven't you?
Well, so mine is, so out the back of ours, Teresa's got a 5-acre horse field, and a couple of years ago I stole some of that and made my new allotment, but my previous allotment is just a few raised beds literally out the back. But now, I've got a good size allotment, which I stole some of her field, which she wasn't too pleased about, but never mind.
And it's good you don't have to go far.
No, it's literally, I can be from here now, I could be there in 30 seconds.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
No,
it's nice.
Yeah.
We've had chats about that with other people, Mark, haven't we, about having allotments at home and on allotment sites. And there's pros and cons for it, both, I think, because mine's out there, so that's my haven. I can go out there when I want. I can do 10 minutes, I can do 4 hours, but that's me. Nobody, Jim from the plot over there is not going to walk past and say, hello, how are you getting on? Do you want some of these? There's no interaction with anybody else. Like a lot of people say they love an allotment site with 50 plots on.
Yeah. But do you find though that because it's not that far away, you still maybe think, okay, but I need to go and do something at home. See, an allotment is where you go and home is not there. So I think that's why people like it. I mean, even though mine was across the road, I liked it because when I went there, I couldn't really be bothered crossing the road to come home. So I was there for the day or there for half of the day. And,
exactly.
And I enjoyed it for the time.
Exactly that. Yeah, I can walk backwards and forwards, like I say, in 30 seconds. But normally, a lot of people say, right, we're having an allotment day.
Yeah.
Pack up the car and you go and have the day there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one. Yeah, the pros and cons things are crazy. But yours is just in your garden, Mark, isn't it? Same. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's just a bit further down. Mine's right
Yeah.
down the bottom of my garden, so it's a bit of a walk.
Oh, right. See, that's really close too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I don't know whether if I had to get in the car and like, you know, I don't know.
I think I'd struggle a bit more to do that, to be honest. I do.
Especially after work, to think, oh, I've got to get home, have some tea, and then drive down the allotment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hot stuff. You just find an excuse not to go.
Yeah.
I really do admire people that have the commitment to keep on top of an allotment.
Yeah.
If it's further away.
But that is their kind of little haven, isn't it? It's like in Germany, they call them kleine Gartens, the little gardens, because, you know, in Germany, most people rent. They don't really own, especially in kind of cities, and they have these whole areas with these kleine Gartens, but they're allowed to build permanent structures on there. So they have little houses, and so they spend all summer down there, virtually down there, and that's their kind of little community, and they really love it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Like you could go and have your weekend down there or something. That sounds good. But I think most people in the UK they say right the weekend we're going to have a day down there. They don't. I bet there's not many people who go and do a lot of work after work.
yeah.
They don't go down there and say right plan. We've now got to dig this. You can't, can you? When you've done a full shift at work, it takes it out of you.
Yeah, and they're the ones that get kicked off.
They let it over. But it's where I can go and have an hour and come back in, do something else, you know, go in the garage, have some lunch and go back out and do another hour.
Yeah,
it works.
Nice.
It works fine for me. I like it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to have a conversation with Dave.
Yeah. But you had an allotment plot, but you give yours up.
Yeah. So I gave it up mainly because of the politics.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I gave it up, really, because my biggest issue was that I was the plot next to the site secretary.
Oh.
And she was very difficult. And I'd had enough. I'd had enough of the whole, you know, tisking that I wasn't digging because, you know, no dig, you know,
Yes.
everyone digs there. Well, not everybody dug there, but yeah, so I didn't dig, and I wanted pollinators on my plot, and I didn't keep the edges as manicured as they should have been, and you know, things like that. And I got sick of it. I really did. And I kind of thought to myself, ugh. The other thing was the garden here at home was really suffering because I was over there like paranoid Nancy trying to keep my edges tight and clean and keep everything perfect over there. Whereas home, I was just letting go. I didn't have the time for home. And I just thought, okay, I have to. So I gave it up before I went to Australia. And I must say, I haven't. What did I have? I missed. Well, I've missed the space because now I'm thinking, where am I going to put my spuds, all my spuds, and all my brassicas? But I don't really miss anything else.
No. Well, so this is your first year without it. I suppose you'll find out in this next 6 months.
Yeah.
If you really miss it or not.
Yeah. I don't think so.
No. Well, it doesn't look like it from what I see.
No, I've got enough to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really have.
Definitely.
Let's just rewind back to Australia, can we, for a bit?
All right. If I can remember. It was a long time ago.
So 9 times out of 10, when we talk to guests, where did it all come from? Where did your garden passion come from? It's mum and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Similar?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So my dad was Italian. He died quite a while ago, and my mum is Austrian. And they got together, which was a little bit odd for an Italian and an Austrian to get together when they did, but they got together and they've always grown their own veg and fruit. So I grew up in a garden that had lots of fruit trees and lots of veg, and we just got used to whenever we wanted something, we'd go out and pick it. And then they moved. My father, he was a concrete pipe. He used to make concrete pipes and he used to do curb and guttering and things for the council. Well, Dad one day had this idea that he wanted to become a farmer. So he sold up everything and we went for a holiday to Italy and came back and he bought a farm. And we knew absolutely nothing about farming. So it was unbelievable. And he not only did he buy a farm, he bought like 2,000 acres of a farm. He bought a whole valley. And so we spent every day after school, my brother and I, and weekends on the farm learning how to farm. And we had cattle. And and then we had a huge garden at home. And then Dad got bored of that. I'm a little bit like my father, actually. And he got bored of that. And he said, my mum always wanted to open like a little nursery that had herbs and a tea room and, you know, lemon drizzle cake. So they did. So Dad built a structure that was the tea room, and Mum started doing herbs, and then Dad got involved. And when my father got involved in anything, it just grew and grew and grew because he wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Little did he know there's not a great deal of money in plants. So he then turned it into a big plant nursery. We had trees. He was propagating everything himself. He taught himself how to propagate. And so we had that as well. So the knowledge of trees and flowers and perennials, and that's where I get that from as well. With me, and when I left home, I had a flat in Melbourne, and my whole balcony was full of anything I could eat. And it came with me the whole time. And I couldn't imagine not growing something to eat. I couldn't imagine it. Like in pots, I'd be getting pots out, lots and lots and lots of pots out, and I'd be growing things in pots because, fruit and veg is pretty rubbish a lot of the time, isn't it?
Supermarket.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
If you want something different,
yes,
you've got to grow your own, because they just don't do variety, do they? It's literally like 2 types of tomatoes, a butternut squash, and some flavourless lettuce.
But isn't it funny? Isn't it interesting how I was going to say the majority of people, I don't know, is that am I being generalistic? That they're happy with that.
It is the majority of people. I think we're the minority, aren't we? Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, varieties, definitely. Because it's funny, because whenever someone says, "Oh, I had mashed potato for tea," I'll say, "What variety?"
Yeah.
What variety of potato did you have? I don't know. I bought it from the supermarket. Yes, but it says it on the packet.
But some of them don't. We've bought potatoes from the supermarket. It just says all-rounder. It doesn't even tell you what variety of potato it is.
Yeah.
It's probably multiple.
Yeah, it might be, yeah. Just lots of different ones. But saying that, the variety thing, I done a thing in the next town last year. It was I just had a stall. It was like an open day craft fair type thing, and they asked me to come and can I show some of my produce and stuff off, and I made by accident. Everybody said it was amazing, but I just chucked all my stuff on this big table, and it looked fantastic. And people were coming over going, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" And I was going, "They're tomatoes." And they went, "What do you mean?" But because I had the purple ones, the black ones, the yellow ones, the knobbly ones, but they just did not know what they were. Unbelievable. And the different squashes and pumpkins, it's just not a clue.
Pumpkins are orange.
Exactly.
Yeah, pumpkin are orange, and you cut a face in it in October.
But I think I think this is why it's really important. Like, Mark, are you still involved in the Green Fingers?
All right.
Yeah, I think it's really important that charities like that are around, and for children, education for children as well, where at least they know, not necessarily a variety, but they at least know how something grows.
Yeah.
And how great it is for our health, because our health is something to, it's just all a little bit odd at the moment, isn't it? I mean, okay, they've come down this year on ultra processed food, haven't they? That's the thing this year. Ultra processed food, don't eat it.
Yeah.
But still, there's the education still isn't there.
There's still kids that don't know that carrots come out of the ground.
No.
Things like that. There really is.
No.
And that's so scary.
And they're scared to eat things. I've got clients that come to me, and I'll talk to them about something, and I'll say, oh, I've just sown my 8th variety of aubergine for the year. Aubergines. And I'll say, oh, come on. No, no, I wouldn't have that. And I always say to them, I don't think you've eaten a proper aubergine before. It's like, an orange. How many people have eaten really fresh oranges?
Well, yeah, they're not, when you get them from the supermarket, they've come across in a boat for 3 weeks and God knows what anyway, isn't it? So, yeah, it's scary and sad that people don't know all these amazing different things that we grow, rather than just, I always say, is the red, round, snooker ball looking tomatoes that taste of nothing but water.
Yeah. I'm just looking at, have you seen this comment that Jenny put on here? That someone from the RSPZ had a child visit who'd never experienced grass before, was nervous to sit on grass.
Bloody hell.
Oh, no.
Crazy. That must have been in a big city somewhere, Jenny, mustn't it?
Oh, that's
if you're in a city, it's understandable. I mean, living in a high-riser, there's probably no green space anywhere near them.
But that's the thing as well. The schools don't even have any grass, do they? You can walk around cities and they just have fenced-off playgrounds.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, we can root for growing yellow carrots. White carrots.
The colours that they were originally before they made them all orange.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah.
But even if you haven't got outside space, you can grow on a windowsill.
Yeah.
Like, you could grow some salad on a windowsill. You could grow microgreens on a windowsill. Like, anybody can grow something, even if it's, once a week you eat it. Like, you can grow something for yourself.
Yeah. Bloody pea shoots. I mean, how long did it take to put some peas in a pot and grow some pea shoots? A week, 2 weeks maximum, and you could be harvesting.
Yes. And if you grow Charles Dowding's recommendation, which is the pea called maple leaf, it has no tendrils.
Oh.
Good to know.
I've tried that. It was the first, because I noticed you had Charles on last week. Was it last week or week? Yeah. And I got one of his little, he's doing kits with Premier Seeds. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got the January, February kit, and in there was this pea shoot. And I'm not, I'm always off pea shoots because of these blooming tendrils, because I tell you what, they take your eye out, those tendrils. And and then I saw this thing, I thought, oh, I'll try that. And they are fantastic. The tendrils start growing. If you let them grow too long and they get about this big, they start growing. But they're delicious.
But the thing with pea shoots, you can have 2 or 3 harvests off them.
Yeah.
Cut them off and they'll come back again.
Yeah.
Bloody brilliant. Right. Brilliant. So we went a bit of a detour then. So you
Australia.
You grew up on your dad's crazy farm idea.
Well, actually, I left home before then, so I never lived on the farm. I was already off, and Mum's still, so Dad died, I don't know, about 17 years ago, I think. My brother died about 3 years ago, so there's no fellas left. My mum's left. She's got she's kind of sold off all the land to a fellow that lives in the valley, and she still has the house with a massive garden.
Oh, wow.
And that's what she's still got at the moment.
Lovely.
And she's still doing that. I went over, my mum's 80 something, 83, I think. I went over and the end of last year, and while she's going a little bit daft, she's all right still. She's very fit. And in fact, she's just bought herself another chainsaw.
Oh my God.
Well, not the big ones, you know, a little thing. And yeah, so she's okay. So, but she's got all the fruit trees and the big garden, and yeah, she loves it. I think if she left, I'm not sure how long she'd last, because that's what she does.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So
I'm
if you
working
take
to
that passion, that love away,
Yeah.
what else is there? What do you fill that back up with?
That's right. And she has to be outside, because I've said to her, why don't you come over and stay with us over here? You know what? She said, I can't go outside in the winter. I said, well, you can, Mum, but, you know, I'm not sure you'd like it.
Even summer's not exactly warm here.
No.
No, we might
It's not.
get a week of decent weather, and that's about it.
But when it's nice here, there's no better place.
No, it's beautiful. This last week last week was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
That was summer.
Just lifts you, doesn't it? Just lifts you, just gives you whatever endorphins happens. It's just amazing, absolutely beautiful.
Everyone's in a good mood.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you move over to England and start singing, and
I do. And then I met Simon. So he was a businessman. He wasn't a singer. He was kind of like a part-time singer. He was a businessman, and he used to enjoy it. So he used to have singing lessons, and he was doing an amateur operatic society. He was singing a role in that, and a mutual friend of ours, I didn't know him, but a mutual friend of ours had a motorbike accident and she broke a leg. And she rang me up and she said, listen, I can't do this role. Do you think you can come and do it? And I said, well, how much are they going to pay me? And she said, nothing. It's an amateur thing. All right. So I went and did it, and that's how we met, because he was my leading man.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was 30 years ago.
And you nearly
and then we moved to Lincolnshire.
You nearly turned it down because you weren't getting the money for it. Brilliant.
And he's still singing. So he travels all the time. And he travels all the time, and I go and see him. We have a 3-week rule that we don't go any longer than 3 weeks of not seeing each other. So I normally go and see him wherever he is.
Yeah.
And it's worked.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
And when you say an opera singer, what's he singing in? Is it shows or?
He sings, so he is what is called, so opera singers are all different weights of voice, not weights. Well, look, some of them are. Actually, in Europe, they're not, because you have to be very small in Europe. In Europe, it's all about the look more than the size.
Oh.
In America, they don't really care. They're okay with the size. And opera singing's all to do with vocal weight in the voice. So when you start, you're usually a light lyric or a light something or other, and then you grow into your whatever your classification is. That they call it Fach. That's what they call it.
Pardon?
The Fach system. I'm saying it with a nice on the end.
Mark, you have to put an 18 clarification on this podcast now.
And so yeah, so you get categorized into this system, and according to the weight of the voice, and then you sing certain types of music in opera. And opera is well, it's all drama, and it's usually someone's killing someone somewhere. And Simon is what is called is a Helden baritone. So a baritone is a lower voice than a tenor. You've got tenor, baritone, and bass. And Helden means high, so that means he sings all the big stamina repertoire. So he sings all the Wagner, and there's things where you're on the stage for about 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
So it's a lot of stamina, a lot of work. You have to be really singing fit. He's just been ill. He got this lurgy, this kind of weird cold thing that's going around. And he was off singing for a good, I would say, 10 days. And he's now singing every day, trying to get, because he's off next week to the next job, trying to get the singing stamina back up again, the lung capacity, etc. So, and then he works freelance. You can either work for the opera house as what they call on fest. So you're employed by the opera house, and you can be employed by them for your whole life. You get a proper salary. It's a proper job. In Europe, it's a proper job. It's not like here where it's kind of part-time. But he's freelance, so he does guesting. So when they have something on that needs a specific voice type, his agent gets the call, and then they offer him the role, and he goes in and does the role. A new production takes about 6-8 weeks to rehearse it, and then an old production that's just kind of been pulled out of the closet and revived is usually 2 weeks work. He goes in, sings the role, comes home, goes to the next place. It's much more interesting. I mean, it's like working for yourself. Can be a bit dodgy, because you don't know when the next job's coming, but it's nicer because you get more variety.
Joe's just said, has he done the ring cycle?
Yes, many times.
What's that? I don't even want to think of that.
So the ring cycle is a cycle of 4 operas written by Wagner, and it is all to do with, J.R. Tolkien and the ring. Well, he stole the idea from Wagner. That's the story of the ring. So Wagner wrote it first, and it's all about this ring that brings you powers, and at the same time not so good energy as well. And there are 4 operas in where everyone wants the ring, and then how the ring destroys everything. And Wotan, who is the king of the gods, is the role that Simon plays. I have to kind of, when he comes home, I have to say, you're not here, mate. So you just leave all that in the theatre. I need you to get out and dig me a bed.
Yeah.
Dig the compost. Dig the compost for me. Turn the compost.
Brilliant. Oh dear.
So yeah.
I'm completely lost.
So I gave up singing because I hated it. I don't even know why I did it.
Oh wow.
I didn't really like it. I think it's because I was quite good at it. And I don't know. I did a music degree, and then I did an archaeology degree, which was actually more and more interesting. And then I got a job in an opera house. I was in the chorus, and then I got solo work, but I never really enjoyed practicing.
I think you need to practice, don't you?
Yeah, you have to practice a lot.
Yeah.
And I never enjoyed. I was always saying, I'm just going out into the garden so I can learn my words, because I just need to feel a little bit, like I need to be outside to learn my words. And and then then I bit the bullet, and I said, I can't do this anymore because I hate it. I don't really like the people. I don't really like the whole facade around it. I don't know. Not for me.
Well, So you give that up
Yeah.
and you start gardening.
I start gardening. No, and then I became an Ayurvedic therapist, which is what I am now. Yes.
Explain
Do
that
you
one,
know
please.
what Ayurveda is?
Blank looks over here.
So Ayurveda is Indian medicine.
Oh, wow.
So that you can get Chinese medicine and you can get Indian medicine. And Ayurveda is quite in trend at the moment because all the celebrities are doing it. So, you know, you get them all doing it, and so it becomes important. So Indian medicine, and it's all Eastern medicine, it's all based around the seasons. It's based around your body type. So it's all to do with nutrition, and work with certain herbs as well. And I do the treatments for people. And yes, so I went and studied and did that.
Oh, fantastic. That I didn't have a clue about that one.
Yeah.
So that's your day job now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, yes, in between the gardening. And I do it from downstairs, which is nice.
Ah, brilliant. Work from home as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So is that all natural healing and that kind of stuff, or nature?
Yeah, it's
in and around
yeah,
nature as well?
Yeah, it's just working with our circadian rhythm, really. You know, it's working with nature. It's working with the elements and nature, and how we are in tune with that. And you know, and but to the proper kind of diehard Ayurvedics have got a real strict regime that they abide by. You know, there is in certain like they if as soon as the sun goes down, they go to bed. As soon as the sun rises, they get up. They eat at certain times. There's all this kind of stuff. But the herbs are really interesting. So they, you know, it's really no different to Western herbs.
No.
You know, we have herbs for different things, don't we? You know, for ailments and stuff like that. And the treatments are a lot to do with oil. They work a lot with oils. So there's a lot of kind of oil massage. You know, have you seen a picture of the oil dripping on people's forehead as well? That's a Shirodara. That's another thing. That's a calming thing. And yeah, so it's trying to get people to take responsibility for their own health.
Mm-hmm.
If they can.
So is there a connection between you gardening with the moon phases then, with this?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where that started. And I think I'd read an article somewhere about it, and it interested me. I probably because of the therapeutic work, actually, it interested me about that. And then I started experimenting with it. And then I got into it quite heavily. And I've relaxed it a little bit now because, again, if you're going to garden with the phases of the moon, you have to be really organized because you only get a certain amount of time on certain days to be sowing things. So you do have to be quite organized. But I must say, for germination, I think it's wonderful.
Oh, really?
But if I sow according to whatever cycle it is in the moon, like we're coming up to a full moon now in about, when is it, 2 or 3 days? I think we've got a full moon. And so if you sow things before the full moon that are fruiting, like your tomatoes, get your tomatoes in now, then your germination will be much better than after, when the moon is starting to wane. So it's starting to pull the energy into the earth, which is for roots.
Oh, wow. I've
So,
never really delved into it much. I know Charles Dowding does
yeah,
it a bit.
he does it a little bit, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
his calendar is becoming more and more and more kind of moon phase, I've noticed over the years.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've had it for 3 years
Yeah,
now, and I've
yeah,
noticed as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Friday.
Um,
Friday's the next full moon.
there you go.
Somebody's
Is it?
comments.
Friday.
So we need to sow tomatoes before
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
Right.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Sowing the tomatoes.
Going through the tomato seed packets. Have you worked out what tomatoes you're going to grow? Oh God, it's a
Oh, I know.
nightmare.
So
I've been looking again today.
Same
Been
ones,
looking
did
again.
you say, Mark?
whatever I've got in my seed thing, and then if I haven't got enough, I'll be doing mad late ordering.
I've been looking on so many tomato seed sites today, thinking,
Oh,
oh, I should have that and that and that and that.
no, don't. Mind you, last year I did the absolute bare minimum. Last year I got sick of the whole heirloom thing and the whole fancy pantsy stuff. So last year I only did the tumbling ones, the little red tumbling ones, and I did this amazing bush one called Perfection or something, Red Perfection, and that's kind of all I did last year. It was a bit boring. Yeah, and Mr. N said, "Is that it?" I thought, oh, I better bring back Brad's Atomic.
That's the.
And
I think I done 24
crazy.
varieties. 24 varieties last year I did. And probably 20, I think it was more than that the year before.
But is
My
it
favourite. I love
really
it.
worth it for the palaver you go through, for the amount of tomatoes you get on a vine, or do we just do it because we're kind of like, a puppy that has no self-control, where we go, oh, there's another one, oh,
Yeah.
there's another one.
I'm sure there's a bit of that in it. Yeah, of course, definitely. But growing tomatoes is my favourite thing to grow, full stop, out of
Is
anything.
it
Yeah,
really?
definitely. A lot of it, some of it is the smell. I love the smell going into the greenhouse. Reminds me of my granddad's greenhouse when I was a kid. And the other thing is I love tomatoes, and I don't eat tomatoes through the winter. I haven't had a tomato for 5 months. Oh, I think in hospital there's a few manky old slices, but I didn't have no say about that. But as soon as they start cropping, I just live on them. Absolutely love them. So I can't do with a couple of little tumbling toms.
Yeah, it was a bit boring because see, I don't eat raw tomato.
You don't?
I don't like them.
Oh right.
I only eat cooked.
Well,
So
you
for
can
me,
be.
it's a nothing. It's I enjoy growing them, but it's
Yeah.
kind of a nothing. Whereas give me a chili pepper.
Right. Okay. Give us the lowdown on your chilies then.
Now we're talking. Well, the chilies is a problem because I always see something new and something unusual and something inedible, and I always want to grow it.
Hot as possible.
Because it's so hot. Yeah, I can't do hot.
But that's ridiculous because then we end up making the hottest chili sauce that you could ever make that will strip paint off your car. And it's, what's the use of that? And then we give it away.
Try this.
I can't eat hot chilies or hot curries or anything like that. I really can't.
I definitely don't think that's very good for your ticker. Don't be taking that. It's not good for
Hey,
the old.
my ticket's fixed now. Thank you very much. No, I don't like spice. I like growing chilies and peppers. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I don't. I end up drying them, and then there's I've got bags of them sitting there, dried chilies. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Wow. So what is the most unusual thing that you think you'll grow this year, fellas?
Cool.
I've got all sorts this year. I'm going way off book this year. I've got
yeah.
some real unusual. I've got some unusual, not perennials, but shrubby type fruit things. So I've got a pineapple guava shrub. Jamie's also growing is it beef and onion tree?
Oh,
Beef
yeah.
and
I've
onion
got one of
tree.
those.
Is it Teleoma?
Tuna.
Tuna. That's it.
Still not got no germination from that, and they've been in there, I don't know, 3 weeks.
And I cheated and bought the actual tree. So
yeah. Yeah.
And Szechuan pepper is another one I've got.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, nice.
Because apparently that grows into quite a decent sized shrub, and you get a lot of stuff off it.
Yeah.
When I was at Charles Dowden's back in August, he's got a big bush. It's massive, taller than me.
Outside.
Yeah. And it had little peppercorns on it, and I nicked one. Well, he said you can have one, and we all had one, and it completely made your mouth numb. Why would you want to do that? But
nice.
But yeah, real tingly numbness in your mouth.
I didn't know
because they were fresh.
You could grow them outside.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fantastic.
Good one to try.
I'm looking for some weird and wonderful squashes because I've got a lovely big 10-meter long squash arch, and every year I grow lots of squashes and pumpkins. But I'm just having a look at trying to find some bit more weird and wonderful ones.
I'll send you all the photos of the ones I've got.
Oh yes, please.
You can. I've got seeds if you want them. Thank you. I did a big order from Baker Creek Seeds a couple of years ago.
Oh, brilliant!
And I've got a lot left over, and I do notice that the germination's very good. So even though the seed might be a little bit old, things should germinate.
Fantastic.
Quite well. And some are really good. I also find that, and I love Real Seeds. It's one of my favorite companies, but they got some really interesting ones as well.
Yeah. I had a look. I think it was Real Seeds I was looking at today. They've got lots of ornamentals, haven't they?
Yes, they do. I think they do one. There's one called Blue Hungarian, which is fantastic.
Looks a bit like Crown Prince, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, really good.
The Crown Prince is my favourite pumpkin to eat, or squash to eat. So I guess Blue Hungarian might be very similar.
Have you tried the Blue Queensland?
No. I haven't got a notepad. You'll have to tell me later.
That's a great. And it's become quite readily available here in the UK now. Right. They got to be started really early because they're big plants and they're big squashes, big pumpkins. Yeah. But they are absolutely delicious and they store forever.
That's what you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's written that? Pink banana.
Oh, pink banana is another really good one.
Yeah. That's
the skin is not. I don't think it's as tough as Crown Prince, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a lovely roaster. That one.
Pink
and
banana.
I like, the little ditty ones are really cute. Sweet dumpling. That's a beautiful little one because you can have it when it's not ripe, the skin, or when it is, and it's just I like them.
One of my favourites still is the little orange cheeky curry ones.
Yeah, that's great.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
And they grow so well. You just get hundreds of them.
Yeah.
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 Really, really good. So pumpkins tomatoes and pumpkins are my favourite things to grow.
Right.
So I really concentrate on those. But this year I'm doing a few different. Do you know Lucy Chamberlain? She was on a few weeks ago.
Yep.
She's written a book about all different things, and there's different spinaches in there: Malabar spinach, New Zealand spinach, and agretti. So I've got all those seeds. I'm going to try them. A few different things. Yeah. I don't want to just stick in the same. Obviously, you got to do your staples, your carrots, your parsnips, but you've got to try some new things.
But like you say, if you can buy that kind of stuff in the supermarket, just grow something that you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're going to just try, you know, I do a lot of Asian cooking. So my big thing is Asian veg.
Yeah.
I grow a lot of Asian veg. So at the moment I've got every bloomin' pak choy you can think of. I've got growing,
Yeah.
and things like choy sum, which is another kind of pak choy, and then there's something called oh, I can't remember what it is. It's got like little flowers, like little broccoli flowers on it. I grow that as well. And yeah, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of Asian veg.
But they're all good for now, aren't they? But they're no good through the summer because they
No,
get
it
cold.
makes it difficult. But then you can grow things like you can grow the little aubergines, little Thai aubergines. They're really easy to grow. Just difficult to get hold of the seed. And they're only little, tiny little things. The ones you get in like green curries, and then that type of thing takes over.
Right.
The only thing I haven't been successful in growing are those snake beans, but I think you have to grow them under cover.
Yeah.
See,
I tried it in a polytunnel last year and it didn't get
we
through.
tried.
I got flowers.
Really?
Yeah, a friend of ours done a bit of a snake bean grow along, and there wasn't many people who actually got much.
Yeah. There's a lady up here in Lincolnshire, and she's on Facebook, and I think she's called Thai Bamboo. She's a Thai lady. She's got something like she's near Grantham. She's got 3 polytunnels and everything. The stuff she grows is unbelievable. I thought I would get in touch with her and just say, you've got it. She's growing papayas.
Oh, wow.
Papayas. I cannot believe she's getting fruit. But I think she's heating one of her polytunnels. Must be heated. Unbelievable. Lemongrass, you should see it. And all this galangal that she's growing as well, and ginger, and all unbelievable.
Fantastic.
In Grantham.
Tropical.
The only tropical thing in Grantham, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew some lemongrass last year. It wasn't massive, but I got a few stalks off it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good.
That was just from that wasn't from seed. It was from a Tesco's lemongrass.
See, I think that's good because the seed that you normally get, I can't remember whether it's the Eastern Indian or the Western Indian. One of them is just kind of like an ornamentally thing, and you never get the big doodads. Whereas if you grow them from Tesco's, or you grow them and you root them, I think you get much better.
Yeah,
lemongrass.
It works really well.
Julia does it. Julia Parker's Patch.
That's who I done it with.
Oh, you did it with Julia. Yeah, she does it all the time.
And the ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, grew ginger. We're going to do another grow along this year.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, I loved it. I like doing a bit of some weird and wonderful things. Yeah, it's nice.
Do you grow okra?
Hmm?
Do you grow okra?
Well, I try every year. I try it inside, outside, everywhere. They get to a certain size, then the flowers will come. I get little fruits on them, and then they drop off. And it's because any temperature change, they hate it. Or the leaves will fall off, or everything falls off. Have you had any success?
I've got some for this year, so I was wondering if you had any advice.
I don't think they can grow outside. I've tried growing them outside.
No, I was going to do it in a polytunnel.
But try in a polytunnel.
Yeah.
Like I said, they grow beautifully where my mum is, and it's hot.
Do they grow like a vine? Do you tie them up like tomatoes?
No, they're like a very spindly, tall. It's not even a bush. It's very spindly, very interesting leaves. The leaves have got lots of spikes on them. And and the flowers are beautiful when the flowers come. It's very exciting. And then, maybe I'll try them again. Have you got the green or the red?
Green.
Yeah. I think the red is really temperamental. I might try the green again.
Yeah. That's it. I'm going to get some green seeds.
Where did you get your seeds, Mark?
Trying to think. Definitely, it wasn't real seed. It might have been king seed.
Okay. Because real seeds, I think they do an okra. If they do an okra, it might work.
Yeah.
The king should be all right.
Yeah.
If it's like the what do they call it? Clemson spineless.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
Something
that's the stock standard one. You only get small green
Yeah.
ones, but at least it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And one's better than nothing. It's like, when you get an aubergine.
Yes. You wait all that time, you've got one aubergine sit on that plant. You think, oh my god.
I got flowers on my aubergine plant last year in about September, so got no fruit whatsoever.
Sissy said, "What's the weirdest veg you've ever grown, Susie?"
Probably, I think I went on the whole Chinese thing, and I grew chrysanthemum. And the Chinese have got two things that they use a lot of. One's called morning glory, which is like it's like a long spinach with big floppy leaves, and I grew that, and that was good. And the other thing was this chrysanthemum, and you meant to have the leaves in salads or stir fry them. It grew like mad. It went crazy. It was great. The taste was, well, it was like a chrysanthemum. It was awful. Really, really awful. It was like I was eating chrysanthemums. And that was probably the weirdest thing I grew. The other thing that I think that what's been the weirdest thing that I've enjoyed growing, probably my finger lime.
Oh.
Yeah, finger lime. That's been really lovely because have you had a finger lime before? They call them the caviar lime. They're very long, very thin, long little limes.
Yeah.
They're on this tree that has got thorns on it. It is a brute of a thing. It's actually hardy here in this country, so you can actually grow them here. I think it's hardy up until about -10.
Oh wow!
I grow mine in my greenhouse, and these little limes come, and when you slice them open and pull the skin apart, there are little pearls of light, and that's why they're called the caviar lime. And they're like these tiny little pearls, and they taste a cross between a lime and a lemony lime. They've got a really unusual taste. They're very expensive to buy, and they're a delicacy like with raw fish, with sushi and things like that as well. And that might have been one of the weirdest things I've grown, I think. All my citrus. I've got many citrus. I've got yuzus. I've got all sorts of stuff.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Wow. They're all in your greenhouse.
Yes. So I've got one of my greenhouses full of the citrus. Veg wise, I don't know. Probably the Asian things, I think.
So you tend to steer away from the carrots and parsnips and things, and just do some weird and wonderfuls.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we love broad beans and we love peas and things like that. My favorite veg are beans, French beans. That's my favorite veg, and I will grow so many of those until we're sick, absolutely sick of them. But if a variety works, I will grow it mainly for flavor, not really for yield.
Yeah.
It has to be for flavor. So there are some things that you don't get much of, but it's definitely worth it for the flavor. Yeah.
What about dried beans? I'm gonna try and do get some like balottis and things. So you dry them for the winter. Do you much of that?
You've got to put them in early. Make sure they go in really, really early. Sow them really early because they need the long season at the end. I'm just trying to think of when I would sow them up here. I don't know. I would get them in definitely in April sometime. I have tried them. They're good.
Yeah.
But kidney beans are really good for drying.
But I think most of them are, aren't they? If you leave them to dry, they're dry. Even runner beans, they'll grow and swell into big beans.
Exactly.
So they'll dry. Yeah.
That's right.
Use them in stews and things. They're brilliant.
Yeah. If you've got the space, definitely do it. I mean, I've grown edamame before. I've
I'm
grown
definitely going to try those this year.
chickpeas before, but I don't have the space for that. And and if you're going to grow a chickpea, you're not going to grow one plant, because you'd be lucky if you get one chickpea off it.
Yeah.
And like edamame again, you don't get many pods from them. They're only very small plants, and you don't get many pods, so you need quite a few of them in the garden as well. But yeah, if you've got the space, I would definitely be trying things like that. And unusual red root vegetables like salsify. Do you go salsify?
I don't, but I've seen it. Yeah, that's like a long root, isn't it?
Delicious.
Yeah.
It's delicious, and it works. It's very easy to grow. A bit different.
I think that I want to try and do that a bit more. Just don't need carrot. I know we always say fresh veg tastes better and things like that, but does a carrot, once you've boiled it or roasted it, taste that much different than supermarket ones?
I think so. But with carrots, it's the timing. You have to get your timing right. I mean, I sow carrots constantly, all year. I sow carrots because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. So I'm thinking, if I just keep sowing them, eventually I'll get a great crop. And the lot that I sowed for my winter carrots, I must have sowed, and I didn't sow them, Mr. N sowed them. He must have sown them in exactly the right week, because I've got a bed of carrots out there that are the best carrots. They are absolutely fantastic carrots. Little bit of carrot fly problem with them, but they are fantastic. And then the other ones that I grew, they're all right.
I'm the same with parsnips.
Yeah.
Trouble with bloody parsnips is horrendous.
Again, I just think with parsnips, just chuck the seeds in and just hope for the best. Because I mean, all this faffing around. There was this old bloke that used to have the allotment over there, and he would always do the pre-germination. So he'd have this tiny little patch, but he had to grow his parsnips, and he'd come all the time with his little plastic container and his little tweezers, and he'd be sticking in these seeds into the ground. Unbelievable. I'm not doing that. No,
they are a pain in the bum. I think if you've got to just for that first few weeks, you've got to keep them damp. If they dry off, that's it. They've had it.
Yep.
They worked last
Definitely.
year. Can you remember, Mark? I put a plank of wood across it to keep them damp underneath, and that whole row was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I always put fleece on top. So when I do carrots and parsnips and things, I always put fleece on top and make sure that's always wet, so that you've got them coming from below. And that tends to work as well. Because the other thing is, do you sow beetroot? Are you fussed?
Yeah, I love beetroot. I love beetroot. Yeah. Drew some artichokes. Who's that just said that? Sure, just saw do you grow Drew some artichokes? Yeah, Sissy said that again. They're all right.
The dogs like them.
The dogs bloody like them. The dogs eat them and they come back.
That's a bit dangerous.
Stinks. It's absolutely horrendous. They come and sit in the lounge with us at night time, and you need gas masks.
Oh dear.
Terrible.
Do you grow globe artichokes?
Yes, love them. If you catch them at the right time, if you're a bit late, have it. Yeah. They will open, they're gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Sweet corn, love sweet corn.
Love sweet corn.
Best thing in the world. I eat that, snap it off and eat it raw. Don't even bother cooking it sometimes. Beautiful.
It's lovely stuff. Really lovely stuff. Nice time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then. as well.
Going big on that this year. I've never really grown sweet corn, and I've got sweet corn, I've got mini corn, and I've got popcorn as well. So I'm going big on the corn this year.
That's a big area.
Yeah, I've got making a big new veg garden. So
yeah, fantastic.
I've got a big 3 metre by 3 metre square, which I do my sweet corn in.
Oh, lovely. That's fantastic.
I mean, it's all in the freezer. Once you, because you 9 times out of 10 it all bloody is ready at the same time, so you have to get it off because that'll soon wrinkle up. All the rats will come and get it or something. So I've got it's in the freezer, so we can just take it out 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be hopefully it'll be a good season. I mean, who knows? I think more and more growing undercover is definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. I'm going to try and rig something up with my beds out the back. I'm going to rig up a little system where I've got some tunnels that are on hinges that I can open and close. And I'm going to do that. Definitely.
So you can get the... It's amazing how hot it gets.
Yep. It is amazing.
Oh, God, yeah, definitely. Crazy temperatures. Well, it's no different than walking into your greenhouse or your polytunnel and it's 55 degrees. You think, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
I think you can grow in that.
If you can keep it, but then it drops down to 10 at night.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. No, I got rid of all the palaver this year. Because I've got grow tent in downstairs underneath me. We've got a basement. I've got grow tents. I've got grow lights. I've got grow every bloody thing you can think of. And this year, I'm not doing any of it because you get all excited. You've got 50 bloomin' chili plants that are just sitting there, and you can't put them anywhere.
No.
So I'm not bothering this year. It's crazy. Now, and they have to fend for themselves. So once they've germinated, that's it, mate. You're on the windowsill. And if you last, you last. And if you don't, you're not for me.
That's a good attitude to have, really. What's the point in stressing with it all the time?
Oh, it really is such. And this hardening off. Do you harden off? I don't. I've never hardened off anything.
Never, ever.
Charles said it last week. He doesn't.
Charles said it. Yeah, I heard it. I heard someone on a podcast about 2 years ago say it, and then I put it on Instagram, and people go, "No, you've got to harden off. You've got to harden off." And I went, "I have never hardened off.
Never.
Can't be shuffling backwards in and out for a week.
I don't have that time.
No way. Horrendous.
No. Stick it out there, and if they're okay, they're okay, and if they're not, well, whatever.
Right. I love the fist.
Yes. Exactly.
Just hope we don't have any slug problems like last year. Hopefully it's a bit drier.
Mention the word.
Well,
and then we had the white butterfly, the cabbage white butterfly. Oh my God, that was just unbelievable last year.
Don't talk about them. I hate them. Sorry, they're just a pain in the ass.
Shocking. I did notice that. Do you do nematodes? Do you do all that palaver?
No, never done it.
No, I haven't done it.
No. A lot of people do for the slugs, but they kill all the slugs, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And okay, fair enough, but no, I don't bother with that. I just stick little modules. So in my veggie pods, I've just started to bring all the stuff that I germinate in the greenhouse. It's all coming out in the veggie pods. And I just put little modules all in between, and the slugs all go up into the modules, and then in the morning I get rid of them. And that's what I do. That's my slug traps.
Do a post on that, please. I can copy you.
Because it's really easy. And I use the Charles Dowding modules, the ones that I'm not using, the little seed sowing things, and I just shove them in between the plants, and then in the morning, all the slugs like going up in between the little bits.
Hiding spot.
Just cool and damp.
Yep.
Yeah, good thinking.
And that's how I get rid of my slugs, and I do it in the garden as well. Yep.
Yeah, really good idea. I think we could talk for hours and hours, Susie, about what we do in our allotments, but it's nearly 9 o'clock.
Oh, God. Okay. Time's way past my bedtime.
You're not quite finished
What's
yet.
the doggy's name?
This is Dash, the noisy dog.
Dash.
Dash, the sausage dog.
Oh,
Have you got a dog?
no. No dogs, no children. Thank you very much. That's why I look so good.
Love that.
Dash is not very happy with that.
You're upsetting now.
Yeah, you're not quite finished because Mark's got a lightning round of questions which you got to chuck the answers in really quick.
Oh, God.
Before you go.
Okay.
Before the lightning round, Joe asked in the questions, if you could grow only 3 herbs for general well-being, what would you grow?
General for well-being.
Yeah.
Okay, rosemary as an astringent. So rosemary can be used for internally as a blood purifier, and it's also very, very good for the scalp as well if you have oily hair or if you have any kind of dandruffy problems. So rosemary, definitely. The next thing is it a herb? Is nettle a herb?
I don't see why not.
No.
What's a herb?
How do you define a herb?
Again, nettles, because nettles are blood purifying. They're great for the kidneys as well. They detox the kidneys. Nettle is really good for heart conditions as well, and it's great as for circulation. That's the second one. And the third one, what herb would I grow? Probably something like, if I could, is turmeric a herb?
Yeah.
Spice.
I think so.
It's a spice, isn't it? Can I say turmeric?
Yeah, why not?
I grow it. I do grow it.
Yeah.
Again, so curcumin, and that is perfect for everything. It's an anti-inflammatory. It is great for the joints. It's great for the gut. It's just wonderful stuff. And you can grow it in this country. You have to grow it under cover like ginger. And like ginger, you can eat the leaves, because I don't know whether you know you can eat ginger leaves as well as the ginger root. You can eat the leaves from the turmeric plant as well. And it's absolutely wonderful.
So what does a turmeric plant look like?
It looks like a banana, a bit like a banana plant,
really?
but smaller leaves. They unfurl like a banana plant, and it's absolute. The smell is incredible when you walk past.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is just get some turmeric from somewhere or other. An Asian shop. The only trouble is they put a retardant, or they spray a retardant on, like ginger from the stores, so that it doesn't sprout. But sometimes they do sprout, and it works easy.
I was just about to say, how would you eat all these? But lots of people have said. So Niall said nettle soup is amazing, and Joe said nettle tea.
Nettle
what
tea.
About the rosemary? You need quite a bit, I'd imagine.
With rosemary, to make a rosemary tonic is just you get the branches and just stick them in water and make the tonic, and you can infuse it as long as you want. The only thing with rosemary is it's like thyme. Rosemary and thyme are really good. They're good for the respiratory area as well. So when you inhale it or when you drink it, it what does it do? It shrinks the mucous membrane. So if you take too much of it, you might find that you start getting dehydrated. So you just have to watch the balance with that. But as a topical thing, it's wonderful. It's great for acne. It's great for everything, and thyme as well. Thyme is incredible.
Love thyme. Thyme's my favourite herb, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
Lightning round time. Number 1. What is your favourite band or artist?
Do they have to still be relevant?
Nope.
Adamant.
Wow, Adamant.
That is.
Bloody hell.
He was a
right.
dude.
Shows you what age I am.
Number 2, flowers or edibles?
Edibles, yeah. Edible flowers.
Yeah. Yes.
Next one, beach or forest?
Beach.
Oh,
Boom.
no decision whatsoever there. In a text message, what's your go-to emoji?
I always do the face with the little love heart in it. What's
One with the love
that?
heart. As in the eyes?
Yeah. I always do that. I don't know what it means, but that's how I always sign off things.
Yeah.
Means you're in love.
Oh, okay, whatever. That's great.
If you could only have one snack for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One snack.
Yeah.
Habas fritas.
Oh,
what's that?
Dried broad beans. Dried and salted broad beans.
Oh, amazing. They're little flat, aren't they? I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Love them.
healthy choice. Next one. Finish the sentence. My perfect day would be?
Sitting on the bench with Mr. N at the lookout at Rhinemack, which is the Lincolnshire National Wildlife Trust area.
Oh, I love that.
Nice choice.
They've got a lookout that looks over the whole of the East Coast.
Oh, nice.
With a Susy sandwich.
Susy sandwich.
Sandwich, sure. You got to tell us about this now.
Yeah.
So the next question is different to what it used to be because Charles told us off, so we've changed it slightly. So sowing seeds or planting out?
Sowing seeds. I hate planting out. What was it? What was the question?
It used to be potting on.
Oh.
So I don't think Charles probably pots on because he does it straight into modules.
He does, yeah. Yeah. I hate planting out.
The fun's in the sowing of the seeds, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And harvesting. Next one, spring or summer?
Summer.
Nice and warm.
Hot-blooded.
Yeah.
Today's favourite plant?
Today's favourite plant. Bean sprouts.
Oh, wow.
I'm sprouting. I'm doing all my sprouts. I'm into that this year. I was doing the microgreens and I did some and I thought, that's not fast enough. So it's the sprouts.
Let the dog back in before he barks at us.
Bless him.
He's on one tonight. Unlimited compost or unlimited seeds?
Cool.
Compost.
Same as Charles.
Yeah.
Can never get enough.
No, definitely not.
Never.
If you could choose one plant to describe yourself, what would it be?
To describe myself.
All vegetable.
Or a vegetable. I really wouldn't know. I was going to say a sunflower because I am always sunny.
Yeah.
I am always sunny. I'm always a very positive person.
Perfect.
But yeah.
Sounds like a good choice to me. Did Charles? Yeah. I think Charles might have gone sunflower as well.
I think he did.
Is he sunny?
I'm sure he said sunflower.
I love sunflowers.
They are a happy flower.
They are good, yeah.
What is your favourite weed?
Bindweed. Because it's beautiful.
It is a lovely flower.
I love it. Simon hates it. It's the bane of his existence. Oh, there's bindweeds. I love it. And the satisfaction you get when you pull and you
Pull it.
pull and you pull and it doesn't
Get a
break.
nice long root. It's like wallpaper
I love
stripping,
it.
isn't it? And the final one, what would you want your gardening legacy to be?
I would say just chuck it in and see what comes up.
Perfect.
Good mantra.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
think
that
we do fluff about a bit too much, don't we?
Yeah, and it's the whole idea is that we get pleasure from it, which we do every year. We're really, honestly, we are quite flaky gardeners, because every year at the end of the year we say, right, that's it, I'm overwhelmed, I'm sick and tired of it, nothing's gone right, blah blah. Then it comes to this time of the year and we're going, oh, what am I going to sow? Let's stick everything in, let's start again. I mean, it's just, we are a bit flaky.
Definitely.
We're like goldfish, we forget.
Yep. But isn't that the beauty of gardening, is it never gets old?
No.
Every year is fresh because you've endured that cold winter. You're like, come on, it's time to grow.
And then you think, I'm not going to do that again, and then you go and do it.
Yeah. But I also find the gardening community on social media, because I do other things on social media, but the gardening community on social media are only just interested in what varieties are you sowing in. Oh, exactly. Isn't it a nice day? Yeah. Oh, wasn't this good? And look, I've got a tiny seedling. Yay! I mean, we're all very, very easily pleased. There's no real kind of whinging, I find.
Do you find it different with you? Because your other account's Susy B Living, isn't it?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah. Do you find it different people?
Yes. Yeah, so they're all different people. They're all kind of fashion people and makeup people and interiors people and, and stuff like that. And I kind of flick between the two. And then I'll go back and I'll come back to the gardening thing and I'll just have a giggle, because I think, oh, look, someone's just shown us a whole heap of shit on the ground.
And we love it. We love a big pile of shit.
What latest trainers are you wearing? Are you wearing Adidas or everything? No. There it is. A nice big pile.
Brilliant. Right. Just before we press the end and we say goodbye, what's the Susy sandwich? Quickly.
I should have opened a sandwich bar, because I make the best sandwiches ever, but I make them with love.
That's it. Done.
The secret ingredient.
Yes.
Don't just slap it together. No.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
For coming on. Fantastic. And we
really
could,
good.
Like I said, we could keep going for hours, but we have to stop at some point.
Got to go to bed.
So maybe you could come back in the summer and you could show us out in your garden.
Yes, love to.
It'd be fantastic.
I'll show you all the disasters.
Thing was.
Yeah.
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 Okay. We could meet in the middle.
Yes.
All converge on your garden.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Yeah. You're always welcome.
Lovely. Thank you, Susy.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely fantastic. See you later.
Have a good sleep.
And
bye.
Bye.
The dog is doing my head in tonight.
I love Susy. She's absolutely brilliant. Always got a big smile, giggling. Lovely woman.
Very happy, positive lady.
Cool, yeah. What's he doing?
He's in out. In out. Let me into the conservatory. Let me out of the conservatory. Sakes, just shut up and go to sleep already.
I'll just shut the door and that's it. They stay out. Was a good chat, Jenny, wasn't it? Really good. Thank you for participating in lots. It's been really good. Really, really nice.
Yes.
It's the same as normal. You can just get onto things and you can keep going on and on and on. There's so much more we could have talked to Susy about, but it just takes one direction and the other, doesn't it? And the time just flies.
Thing you can try and sort of plan where you're going with the chat, but then if it goes in one direction, you sort of let it go in that direction.
Sure, you've got to,
There it
it's
goes.
just natural.
But yeah, I love all the different things that she's growing. That sounds like I'm going to try some add to my ever growing list of different things.
Yeah.
We'll have to try. I have to try turmeric. That's not one I didn't realise that I had banana like these, because I love like tropical looking things. So that'd be a good one.
It's just a root, isn't it? It looks the same as ginger.
Yeah.
Just do the same as what you do with the ginger, and then my ginger didn't happen to do a great deal last year, so I'm going to do a bit more this year.
I saw Julia was saying that she's got some signs of life on her ginger that she'd started off.
Mine's still in the dark cupboard, getting some shoots to form.
Is it? Is that the key then? You put it in a cupboard.
Just put it in dark, and then it'll start to sprout.
In compost or just as it is?
No, just literally sitting in there like you're chitting. But Susy just said that they've got a retardant on them. I didn't know that. But maybe, I don't know, organic one. Would an organic have retardant on? I don't know.
I wonder if you can buy it as a plant, maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, organic is a good choice, a good shout.
Okay.
He said. Buy organic because it won't be sprayed with anything.
Yeah.
If you can find an organic one.
Turmeric is great to grow. Organic from right. Okay. 9:15.
Turmeric grow along.
We've got a turmeric grow on, and we've got to do some sweet potatoes.
Yeah, we need to get on with that because otherwise it'll be too late.
We do it at the weekend.
Yeah, get on with it.
Right.
Go buy some sweet potatoes, everyone.
Yeah, we'll do something on the weekend. Righty ho! Thank you, everybody. Thanks
everyone. And also, just before we go, how amazing that we've been in the top 10 of the podcast chart for the first time ever this week, and not just for a day. It's been since the episode was released. We've been in the top 10.
Fantastic.
So that's really amazing. Something I never thought would happen for our little podcast.
Next week's going to be another great guest. Ryan, the face of Baker Creek, is coming on to have a chat with us.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
It's going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You think Kai dress wacky, Ryan best turn up in something even crazier.
It's going to be brilliant. I really can't wait. Really can't wait.
Are we going to get the times right? Because he's in America.
I have explained all that, and he said yes, but I'll talk to him again in the week. Just to make sure.
It may happen, it may not.
We might have to do it in the middle of the day. We'll see. Or middle of the night.
Tune in next week, see if it happens.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Bye.
Cheers,
Thank you for listening to Through the Garden Gate.